Yeah, let's start this fire. I got some paraffin wax right there, some chunks on a piece of moist cardboard. All this wood right here, I won't pick up the camera yet, but there are some big chunks of cedar log. Oh, there's some bugs crawling around on that thing. You can see it on the camera. Look at that thing. Ooh. Big chunks of cedar log, and all this kind of stuff is saturated, wet. Everything's wet. I grabbed a few branches that were kind of on the top of some stuff. I'm going to put that on top of this, and I left my matches kind of outside under a tarp, and it got moist. So yeah, see, this is how we're gonna start the fire. If I can get a match lit, try to light a match and then just get it in there. And I have these curls I made in another video also. I'll just stick those on there, right there, and hopefully the wicking action of the heat and the wax melting will pull that wax up into any burnable material that's dry enough, like the match. The other couple matches are sitting in there, so it's a big candle basically at the moment. That's burning fine just on its own. I could put a little bit of this wet stuff, but why make it work so hard? If you do, make sure there's a lot of air and surface area, because you're battling that moisture. But just right on top of here, I got these sticks. Just stick it right there. Should be good. Then I can start to put some of this, shake it and let it fall so the pieces separate. And at some point you have more heat and flame being generated, hitting enough surface area to overcome the threshold of moisture and burning out that water and consuming the fuel that's inside. And the more you do that, the closer you get to a hotter fire, and you'll be able to burn everything. So these huge logs I can show now. Here's my pile I'm going to burn. I wouldn't have been able to start this stuff up on its own. It's too wet, but now that we have flame, it'd be good. And here's the big log chunks. You can see how far the water kind of soaked in. So now that that's going, add that on top. There you go, we'll have a fire. And I'll put those bigger logs on the top. You want to get your biggest pieces on the top as soon as possible, so you get as much heat and flame hitting them, and start working away at them to get them to a point where they're dry enough where all that moisture will be consumed easily, and it'll be like normal firewood. And you just have to stay ahead of the curve on that. As your fire is going, you can't just wait a little while and add one more piece when it's dwindled down, because that piece will be too wet. It'll never be able to catch up and burn it. So you always have to be vigilant and more attentive when you're dealing with wet fire and wet circumstances. And this is extremely important, because this can save your life. Literally can save your life in some situations. And if you're not on it, if you're not on point, you're not focused, could be a bad time. That's how we do it. North Carolina, on the coast. You just throw it on top at that point. Very normal to see huge billows of smoke and smell all the different types of firewood going at any given time. Very cool.